Hey everyone, it's Marianne from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. I wanted you to hear this from me first before it got out largely everywhere in the next couple of days. So we had been given a tip about a couple days ago, last week, said that there were some issues with our New York State legislation. The issue wasn't with us, and it never has been with us. The issue has been with the United Federation of Teachers, Michael Mulgrew, and DC37, Henry Garrido. Because both of those unions are AFL-CIO unions, they asked the AFL-CIO to intervene. And they did. Last week, I was advised that there was a chance that Senator Peter Harcum, who is our state Senate sponsor, was going to remove our bill. A couple of weeks ago, our team came to us and said that the AFL-CIO was given documentation by AFL-CIO and they wanted the language of our bill changed. And I said, no, we're not looking to change the language. What's the language that they want? Well, sure enough, when they told me it was the moratorium language, and I looked at the legislation, and sure enough, the language change that they wanted was to allow that anyone could reduce benefits for a retiree if they equally reduced it for an employee. I said, no, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Because there was a time when that legislation was passed, going back to 1967, and was renewed repeatedly, that only protected teachers and BOCES people. That was when labor leaders were labor leaders and would never allow benefits to be diminished. Unfortunately, what we have today isn't real labor leaders. We have corporatists that are willing to get into bed with management to sell off retired workers' benefits to finance their own. And that, to me, is no longer a protection. AFL-CIO told us that they were not going to interfere in our legislation, and they did just that. They also had another issue. The date in our bill says that the bill would be effective December 31 of 2021. And we explained to them the importance of that date was because on January 1st of 2022, the city illegally charged us copays for the first time in 60 years, which was to finance approximately $53 million to the unions to use as value in collective bargaining. This was a problem, and yet they don't understand it. Why are the unions against our legislation? Because it shuts our pocketbook. They can no longer stick their hands in and start passing more copays and deductibles on you. And why is that a problem? You don't make those decisions. You don't agree to those decisions. You don't have a venue to have any conversation about that. They are simply just charging you a penalty for being a retiree that benefits the active worker for the union leaders' negotiations. If we pass our legislation, it shuts our pocketbook that they can no longer steal from us. No labor leader would have done that before. None. Reminds me of a saying I keep repeating. It was a quote from Victor Gottbaum's book. And in his book, he says that he was given the greatest compliment ever in a quote in the New York Times that said, if Victor Gottbaum, if Vic ever thought, this is Mr. Haber, who is the chief negotiator for the city of New York, if Vic ever thought that someone was harming his members, he'd rip their heart out. We don't have labor leaders today that are willing to rip anyone's heart out. We have labor leaders today that are willing to serve retirees up on platters. And that, to me, is not labor. It's anti-union, it's ageist, it's unethical, and it's immoral. The AFL-CIO did this, and the language, the moratorium language, is UFT language. So to tell you that Michael Mulgrew killed our legislation, you can thank Michael Mulgrew today for that. The language that he wanted to put in was exactly moratorium language. That no benefit for a retiree could be diminished unless it's equally diminished for an employee. Anyone that's been hanging around for the last 15 years knows that the United Federation of Teachers has been doing just that. Passing copays and deductibles and narrow networks and privatizing healthcare for employees and retirees. And he has absolutely no problem to diminish healthcare and force retirees into managed care by predatory for-profit Medicare Advantage plan companies. Michael Mulgrew today killed New York state legislation. And every New York City and New York State retiree should be letting Michael Mulgrew know exactly how they feel. We're going to work to try to fix this. But I wanted you tonight to hear from me that our state bill is dead because Michael Mulgrew and the AFL-CIO, Mario Cilento, killed our legislation. So give us a little time. We're going to try to work on fixing that. Have a great night, everybody.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way